Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. Just grateful to have you with us. We're now over 460 episodes of the show. Thank you for being with us from the beginning, or if this is your first show, whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whether you're here in the United States or across the world, we welcome one and all. Thank you for being with us today. On this particular episode, before we get started, I just want to give a couple of ways that you can help support the show for free. And you can do that by giving us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share. You can also reach out to 10, 25, 50, 100 of your contacts in your phone. Let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. We are the third highest from like an analytic perspective uh, show in the world. So that's behind the Joe Rogan Experience, Dan Bongino show, and we're just honored to have a spot there, and it's because of you, not because of us. We're bringing some content to you, but if you weren't tuning in, we would have no reason to do this show. And so, thank you very much for doing that. And our huge goal is to reach and help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And by you doing those things I mentioned earlier, we can do that. We can do that together, and we can make this world a much peaceful, a much safer place for everyone, not just a select few. So this show, we're gonna piggyback off of one of our earlier shows when we were talking about the organization, Voices for Voices, the show that we just mentioned, uh, over 110 countries, 1,100 cities, worldwide. Yeah, it brings, uh, a sense of gravity to like everything we do, in the sense of, we have a lot of people watching, a lot of people listening. And that makes, our shoulders, you know, have to kind of carry a lot of weight. And comes with that is a celebrity mentality. Uh, and that's not something that we set out from the beginning, to be a celebrity, to be a person, an organization that is linked to helping lots of people, reaching lots of people, being a voice. You see it on a shirt, you see it on the background here. We're a voice for ourselves and others in need, and we like to celebrate the voices of everybody, not just ours, but guests. We may see articles in the news that we feel may be a uh, a good uh, a good way to bring some content to the show. And so with that, again, comes a little bit of I don't know, like a celebrity mentality to us, to the show, to myself. And again, that's not something that I set out to do at the beginning, and nor is it something that I look at now and want. I want to help people. Helping people uh, is not being a celebrity. Uh, Having people, look up to us in the show, it's a very humbling experience to know that there's so many people looking up, watching, listening to the show. And again, I'm just a human. The guests that we have on the show are also humans. So we're just being humans. We're doing human things. We're talking about human topics, easy topics, hard topics, everything in between. And being a celebrity is not something that again that we set out to do and that we want to do. Uh, Maybe if it helps us reach and help more people, maybe that's a good thing. Uh, but we want for good. We don't want to be popular. We don't want to be what I talked about before. Growing up in school, you have your groups of people, your cliques, your groups, and and I wasn't in any of those types of, you know, cool kids in the groups. And and so right now it's the same thing. I don't want to be that Jingle Bells. That's Lucy. That's our puppy. Um, who's currently now sitting on my shoulders like a bird, but she likes to get the watchdog to look at because she's a little bit on the shorter side. But being a celebrity doesn't guarantee anything. Just means there's just added exposure to what we're doing. And again, we didn't set out to be celebrities. That's not the goal of Voices for Voices at all. It actually couldn't be further from the truth, from what we want. Uh, but again, no matter how we do it, we want to help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. We want to reach and help people in over 3,000 cities worldwide. We want to reach and help over 300 countries, territories, provinces uh, across the world. And as I'm kind of thinking out loud here, I guess if being a celebrity helps us reach those goals in the positive way, I guess that's a good thing. Uh, I don't know because I didn't I didn't know what to expect. Um, we come out with goals and ideas and projects, and we we just want to do things, right? And like for us, are doing things. I'm not an athlete. I'm not anything like that. I'm just a human being that has feelings, emotions, uh, and now more caring and nurturing uh, mind, body, spirit, soul, all those things. That's all I can say about me. And I think others connected to Voices for Voices, not the fraudsters, not the people And I guess I have to address this on the show. I didn't want to have to, but here we are. So there are some people in the world, and aren't going to name names. Some people in the world feel that they can go out and try to raise money on behalf of Voices for Voices and mythical creatures around the world. And they don't have our permission to do so. Full stop. As we mentioned at the end of one of our earlier shows, David Solomon's the head of mythical creatures around the world. They are an asset of Voices for Voices. And so anybody, anywhere who is trying to fraudulently raise funds under the Voices for Voices moniker and under, David Solomon's story and that uh, we we have told these individuals that this is not right, said we're not for this, that we have not granted any access, any ability as a surrogate to reach out on behalf of Voices for Voices to raise money. So I would say to those of you who are doing this, it's no longer, well, I'm not sure. Yeah, I let this slide a little bit too long, and now it stops. So do not, do not donate any money to Voices for Voices to somebody who is not me. And I'm saying that because people are what they're doing is basically they're saying, "Oh, we're Voices for Voices," and then then they get donations, and then they say the money comes to us to help people with mental challenges and trauma and all those things, that we're doing. And while on the surface it looks like a good thing, these individuals never get the money to us to be able to do those things. These individuals, um, and I'll just look at Stephen Reimers. You have no authority to go out on behalf of Voices for Voices, mythical creatures around the world. You do not own, you are not a partner, you don't own shares, you don't own a slice. I don't care what words you try to use. You have zero. You have zero. You have zero authority to fundraise for Voices for Voices. And you have zero authority to fundraise for mythical creatures around the world. And Steven Reimers is probably not the only one that's doing so. That's the one thing, being a celebrity, and that's the part that is concerning to me is people want to come out on my behalf and in David's behalf, and they want to capitalize. It's kind of like these scams, right? When there's these natural disasters, people need their homes rebuilt. They need, insurance. They need, they need a lot of things. What they don't need are people coming in, claiming to help, and then at the end of the day, they're not helping. They're just taking the money and running. This is what Steven Reimers is doing. He's taking any money that he gets, he's using Voices for Voices as a scam. So we would love your donations at lovevoices.org. 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 We would absolutely 100% accept donations at lovevoices.org. We would 0% give any authority to give any money to Stephen Reimers under any pretense. Voices for Voices Publishing, whatever he wants to use, it if his lips are moving, he's lying. Same goes for mythical creatures around the world. He's conning people out of money. He nearly bankrupted at least one person that I'm aware of. Could be more for being a fraud. So we cover the hard topics. This is a topic that is it's hard to talk about. And I very easily could just sweep it under the rug and just let it go. But we're not. We're hitting this head on. And I've told you, Steve, whatever your real name is, I told you not to do it. I've given you a lot of rope. I've given you a lot of opportunities, only to find out just the very next minute you have some newsletter going out, that you have calls in, some emails, whatever. It doesn't matter what the communication method is. The fact of the matter that you're even doing it is not right. It's immoral, unethical. And again, anybody posing as Stephen Reimers or anybody else saying, "Oh, we're collecting money for Voices for Voices." We're again, I could just say, "Oh yeah, go ahead, donate." I don't want fraudulent money. I don't want people to give their hard-earned money to Stephen Reimers that the money's never going to make it to the organization Voices for Voices and or mythical creatures around the world. So that is exactly what I'm getting at. And there's gonna be consequences. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, maybe in 2 hours. I don't know. But Steven, you keep doing this. Steve, you keep doing this. Whoever your real name is, you're a foreign agent. Was it Trinidad and Tobago or somewhere else? I don't really care. But you're not going to scam people for voices, and you're not going to scam people for mythical creatures around the world, which is an asset of Voices for Voices. So I'm not sorry that you had years and years and years and years to get mythical creatures signed up the proper way. And so now that it's an asset of Voices for Voices, it's ruffled your pants up a little bit apparently. That's not my fault. So don't go pretending like, oh, you're helping Voices for Voices. I don't want you anywhere near Voices for Voices. I don't want you anywhere near mythical creatures around the world. In fact, I don't want you anywhere near any organization that you're collecting money, which, speaking from the Voices for Voices, the mythical creatures around the world standpoint, you're doing it fraudulently. So please stop. Just stop. Your gig's up. Your game's up. Your con is up. You really need to be on one of these episodes of Greed on CNBC. Because what you're really doing, and we haven't even discussed this because try not to spend any more time than I have to. You really have, I don't know 100%, but it appears some form of a Ponzi scheme. I don't know if that's the case. It's what it seems like to me. I'm not claiming to know all be all, but when I'm putting one and one together and two to two together, it seems like somewhat like a Ponzi scheme. I don't know. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not an attorney, so I don't know. I'm not the person to investigate this stuff. I'm just reaching out to the common person who has a nonprofit, who claims that you're reaching out to people, asking them money on your behalf, and then you don't get it. That has to stop immediately. Okay? So maybe this celebrity status can help in this way. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I'm Justin Allen Hayes here with Voices for Voices. If you can, reach out to 25, 50, 100, your contacts in your phone. Let them know, spread the word of mouth about Voices for Voices. We'd love to have them tune in as well. Again, like, follow, subscribe, share. It's all free. Follow our social media profiles, accounts, free to do. And if you're able to, the legit way to donate to Voices for Voices is by going to lovevoices.org. 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 And that is spelled out LOVEVOICES.org. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye for now.